On the trapeze this week, our Eastern Regional Vice President from the National Air Traffic Controllers Association, Mike Christine, and New York Representative Mike Lawler. I will note that we've reached out to several Democratic representatives for today's show, none of which were available to attend. Nevertheless, we welcome you both, gentlemen. Look forward to a good conversation. So let's just jump right into it. Mike Christine, tell me, how does a government shutdown affect the lives of everyday Americans who get a paycheck from the government?
Well, that's the biggest problem. We don't get a paycheck. So right now, our air traffic controllers continue to show up every day, do the amazing work that our American public deserves, the flying public needs, and we're showing up.
Mike Lawler, tell us, the government shutdown, can it be avoided? Should it be avoided under all circumstances?
Yeah, it should be. I've always been opposed to it, no matter which party is in charge or what the rationale. When Republicans try to shut the government down over Joe Biden's open border policies, I opposed it, not because I disagreed with their position, but because a government shutdown wasn't going to solve it and it was going to create havoc. Here, the Democrats have shut the government down, proclaiming it's over health care, when in fact it's really about standing up to President Trump for their base. And it's wrong. I've opposed it regardless of who the president is. I voted 8 times under Joe Biden to keep the government open and funded, and have voted under President Trump to do it. Our federal workforce deserves to be paid. Mike and the air traffic controllers do a phenomenal job. They shouldn't have to choose between showing up to work and not collecting a paycheck, or staying home and figuring out a way to make ends meet and pay their bills. It's wrong.
So I just a little pushback, and why not, if that's the way you feel, why not just give the Democrats what they want to make sure that lights stay on in the government?
Well, House Republicans passed a clean continuing resolution over a month ago, John, to keep the government open and funded. I have already signed on to a bill that would extend the ACA subsidies by a year. But you don't negotiate at the barrel of a gun, and you don't hold the American people hostage. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries have said repeatedly about the need to pass clean CRs. They always voted for them 13 times under Joe Biden. Suddenly they've changed their position on this because they're trying to appease their base. And it's just wrong. It's not the way to govern. It's not the way to negotiate.
Now, Mike Christine, can you give us more of a feel for the impact on your employees at the Air Traffic Controllers Association, what it's like for them to work without a paycheck, but also the effect on their home lives?
Yeah, it's, our jobs are stressful to say the least under ideal conditions. We're trained to, when we get into the control tower, put that headset on to check all that at the door. But when you start not knowing how you're going to put food on the table or pay your mortgage, it gets really real. We're used to dealing with variables like weather, equipment outages, runway construction. We're used to that, and every day is different in air traffic control, and that's what makes it so great, and it makes our men and women are just phenomenal at doing their jobs to make it work. Because, like I said, there's a ton of pressure on us. And this shutdown is not helping us at all. Our equipment is old, our towers are dilapidated, and the men and women that are controlling the skies are the only thing that's making this stuff happen.
So, Mike Christine, do you think that lawmakers understand the realities of what your industry and other industries face during shutdowns?
I mean, I think they do. It's not the first time it's happened. Unfortunately, our controllers are stuck in the middle, and all federal employees are accepted or furloughed. We're humans first and foremost. We're fathers, we're mothers, and we have to provide for our families. This doesn't change it. Our country is relying on us as air traffic controllers. We're showing up. We're making sure everyone gets to their destination and our economy keeps rolling. But it's on the back of our controllers.
Mike Lawler?
No question. Mike is 100% correct. It's part of the reason why I foregone my pay during this shutdown. If our federal workforce is not being paid, neither should members of Congress. But again, this is all avoidable. I think the Senate could pass a clean CR today. The House has already done so. But we really got to avoid this in the future. I think it would really behoove us to pass legislation to ensure that anytime government funding expires, that it automatically continues at the current level, so that we don't have this continued tit for tat or prospects of a shutdown that impact the federal workforce and the American people, especially those who rely on critical programs like WIC or SNAP, which could run out of funding, or our military not getting paid. This is unnecessary pain, and it's why I've always opposed government shutdowns.
So, Mike, I want to make sure I understand this. Mike Lawler, the House of Representatives has already passed a clean CR. It went over to the Senate, and that's where things are getting mucked up. Is that right?
Correct. The Senate has voted 12 times as of this count not to keep the government open, with nearly every Democrat voting to shut the government down, all because Chuck Schumer is trying to appease his far left base. They could pass the clean CR, as they did 13 times under Joe Biden, so we can get back to work, negotiate on these issues, including on health care, which I've signed on to legislation to extend the subsidy, so that we can ensure Americans don't pay a higher premium. But a lot of these issues need to be negotiated with an open government, not at the end of a barrel of a gun.
So the pressure that people face in these situations is pretty immense in Congress. Is that right?
No question. It's difficult. Obviously, you see the impact it has on your community, on your district, on your constituents. We have people reaching out concerned about funding for critical programs that they rely on, like WIC, like SNAP, and military families who rely on that paycheck to be able to make ends meet. This should not be. Our air traffic controllers shouldn't have to worry about whether or not they can show up to work because they can't pay their mortgage. So this needs to be resolved. It needs to be resolved immediately. And the House passed the clean CR over a month ago. The Senate could do it today and bring this to an end.
So how would you fix this, Mike Lawler? And then I want to hear Mike Christine's take. How can you fix this to stop this cycle, which seems to be increasing in the last few election years, of these government shutdowns? How do you fix it once and for all, Congressman?
Well, as Congress has gotten, more partisan and more divided and smaller majorities, this type of, stuff keeps happening more frequently, and it's wrong. And so to me, I think there's a very simple way to fix it, which is to pass a legislation that would allow for continuing appropriations if Congress fails to pass appropriations by the September 30th deadline, so that it stays at current levels and we don't have a shutdown unnecessarily. Then Congress can finish its work and pass appropriations for the next fiscal year without the prospect of a shutdown.
Mike Christine, your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are clear. Federal employees continue to show up to work every day during this, so I expect Congress to do the same, putting us in the middle every time there's a disagreement. It's cruel. So anything we could do to end this shutdown and all future shutdowns, I'm all for.
So, Mike, we got about 20 seconds left. Mike Christine, just quickly tell us, has the shutdown impacted air safety at all?
Absolutely not. Our controllers do a phenomenal job of making sure that if we have any kind of either a shortage or weather or equipment outage, that we're able to pivot very quickly, either reducing arrivals, departures, volume complexity. We're used to doing that every day. We didn't become 3,800 controllers short overnight. We've been dealing with this for many, many years, and it is 100% completely safe to fly.
Well, gentlemen, thank you both for your service to the country. Hope that this gets resolved very soon.